Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Podcast, where we help you unlock your potential freedom through land investing, real estate investing, and entrepreneurship.
Hi, everyone. This is episode 116 of the Real Estate Investing Podcast, discussing selling land in a recession. I'm your host, Ron Napke, and I'll be alone for this episode. Before we get into the show, let's go over a question from our Discord community. This question's from Jared. What Jared asked is there a common profession you see from successful land investors in your community? And that's what he's asking for prior to land investing. Is there a profession that you see is more successful than others, essentially? I see it personally as attributes of some of our successful land investors more so than professions. We've had teachers who come in who are teaching 8th grade science and be successful. We've had engineers. We've had wholesalers who come from a house wholesaling background who want to get into an industry with a little less competition. Everything, salespeople. But the common attribute they all have is like they don't have a quitter's mentality. Like they come in, they did their education, or they watch some YouTubes like you're watching right now. They took part in some of our Wednesday calls, and they're invested in their education. And it's not like if this is going to work, it's more so when it's going to work. And I've had conversations with them, and it doesn't always, from our successful people, and I think they become almost more successful, is when it's not just like green grass right out of the gates where they get their first deal or their first 2 deals on their first mailer. It's where maybe they didn't get a deal. Maybe they had a learning lesson from their first mailer, but they pushed forward and now they're making, some of them are making 6 figures a month that I've seen. So no, I don't, to answer your question, Jared, I don't see a specific profession. Maybe as we go through the years, I'll see something that sticks out. Like I have no clue what it would be, but maybe we do see something that sticks out. But to this point, we've had such a wide array of successful people and where they come from. But I really do like that question. And it's really for anyone. It's just for that. I think that non-quitters mindset is what kind of drives people in entrepreneurship in general. But let's get into the topic of the episode, and that is selling land in a recession. And this has been a really hot topic, obviously, with us being in a recession now for a few months, with people unsure what is going to happen in 2023 with the real estate market as well as in land. One thing to keep in mind is every market is different. It's not like the entire United States is ever going to be in a full recession as far as real estate everywhere. Some markets are always going to be hot. Some markets are going to always be growing. So that's something to keep in mind. But let's talk first about selling land in a good market. And some of you who maybe haven't started land investing yet or are thinking about it, whatever it is, might think that land's always difficult to sell. Who wants land? Who's your end buyer? Is it just developers? There are so many people around the country looking for land. And when you're in a good market, the main thing is there are substantially more buyers looking for properties than there are sellers trying to sell property. What this looks like when you have one of those properties and you're one of those sellers is you are getting phone calls left and right, people trying to do seller financing, owner financing, people submitting offers with whatever financing deals. Everyone's trying to get land in those types of markets, and those are going to result in bidding wars a lot of the times. So you have a property, 5 acres is a market price you think is $50,000. You post it up for $50,000. Wow. Like these buyers look at it like, maybe you're the only 5-acre parcel in that entire county. And that's a realistic thing in good markets because things go off the market so fast. So these buyers maybe the last 5 acres sold for $50,000, but these buyers know how fast that last one went. So now they're offering $60,000, $65,000, $70,000, $15,000, $20,000 over asking price. You may think this only happens with houses, but that is not the case. And again, we're talking about when it's a good market. This isn't typical right now. But in those good markets, you're going to get bidding wars. Another key thing about a good market is you can sell defected property. Not necessarily anything. So if it's not buildable or something like that, that's a bigger defect. But if it's got a little more slope than everything around it, if it's maybe got some trash on it, maybe it doesn't have as much road frontage as someone would like, those properties are still going to sell in a good market. So that is a huge key and a huge difference of what we're going to talk about in a good market versus recession. Defected properties are going to sell in a good market. It's not, like I said before, and I want to make sure I reiterate this because we're going to be in a good market again eventually. But not any defected property will sell. If it's got, I don't know, if it's got an oil spill or something like that, or like I said, a full wetlands and it's not buildable, those most likely will not sell anywhere close to market value if they sell at all. But let's get into the next kind of segment of this episode. And let's start talking about a recession because that's the reality of it. Right now, we are in a recession, whatever you want to call it. We're in a recession if you look at it technically. I think since July, maybe August, I don't remember exactly. So let's talk about some strategies for selling land in a recession. The number one thing of selling land, not just in a recession, but whenever, is getting in front of as many people as possible. You cannot just post on one website or one Facebook group and expect your piece of land to sell. I'm not saying it never will be like that, but if you do it time and time again, your days on market are going to be substantially longer than someone who's doing things correctly. Your sale price is going to be lower. You're going to think your property sucks, even if it may not. And any property sucks if it doesn't get in front of the right people. Like, that's what I'm trying to say right here. If you do not get in front of enough buyers or potential buyers, you're not going to get the offers. You're not going to sell it for what you want to sell it for. So how to do this as far as getting in front of most people, you need to have every single property on the MLS. Whether you're posting with a realtor or posting with by yourself, get on the MLS. And you can do this by yourself very simply. It is by using what's called a flat rate broker. This is a broker who will just post it up for you. You deal with all the leads, but they have the access to the MLS, so they will post it up for you. And you will be on all the sites, Redfin, Zillow, the local MLS, everything you can think of, you'll be up there. So that's a flat rate broker. That's very, very important. Or use a realtor and sell it like that. Other ways to get in front of people, like I said before, is Facebook groups. You want to post not just on Facebook Marketplace, but you want to join local groups. Maybe they're land groups, maybe they're just buy and sell groups, and post these properties in there. We get maybe 20% of our buyers off of Facebook. Do I know exactly what group they come from? No, but I know we get in front of substantially more people by joining 10 to 15 groups for every single one of our properties. And this might get us in front of 50, 75,000 extra people than we would have. A lot of these people aren't searching the MLS every day, but if they see something pop up on their Facebook feed, it might catch their eye. They might have a bunch of money, and maybe they were looking for it subconsciously, looking for some land subconsciously, or kind of put it on the back burner. And if a deal came up, they're willing to indulge it in and buy it. And those are the type of buyers we get all the time on Facebook. You will get more tire kickers on Facebook. And what I mean by that is people who might act like they have the money or act like they're interested. And you got to filter through those. Like, it's just part of the deal, but you need to be posted on Facebook. We also will post on Craigslist for every single property. So that's another way you get more eyes on it. We don't sell a ton on Craigslist, but I know we're getting people visiting properties on Craigslist. So it's free. There's no point in not doing it. Another thing is land.com. That is a land only website, and Lands of America, land.com will post to all these sites, which is Lands of America, Land Watch, and landandfarm.com. Sorry. So getting on those sites is important. Those are very, very qualified buyers that will reach out on there. That is not a free thing, but the free things are Facebook and Craigslist at absolute minimum. But like I said, MLS and land.com is important. Another way is signs. So if you have a property on a highway, a busy traffic area, you want to get a sign out there. You can pay someone local. You can have a sign built online and delivered to some local person and pay them on Craigslist to put the sign on your property. This is going to get a lot more eyes out there. But in general, guys, selling a property in a recession is around the idea of getting it in front of many people's eyes with quality pictures. Get your drone out there. And that's what's going to make properties sell fast in a recession. We are still selling properties in 2 to 3 weeks, pretty much for every property, unless we're trying to hold out for more money. If we're undercutting the market a little bit and being aggressive with our pricing and then just filtering out our buyer leads, we are selling these properties extremely fast still. So last thing I want to talk about is how to build wealth during a recession. I think in a recession, almost for some people or for some entrepreneurs, it's like an excuse to fail almost. And in reality, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're aspiring to be an entrepreneur, whether it's land investing or something else, a recession is really an opportunity. You do not want to be sitting on the sidelines during a recession because so much money is made. You just got to be making the right moves right now. There's more opportunities than there were a year ago, to be 100% honest. There are more sellers. If we're talking about land, there's more people looking to sell their land now than a year ago because they need to liquidate their land and they need some capital. So don't be if you're trying to do this, whether it's land or something else, don't sit on the sideline just because it's a recession. It's not an excuse. It's an excuse I hear quite a bit, but it's not really a realistic one. It's not really credible, honestly, because how much money can be made. Another thing during recession, make sure you are negotiating with sellers, negotiating on deals. If you get defected property, negotiate with these people. You can negotiate sellers down because they're more motivated to sell during the recession, especially if you have reason to lower the price. But all in all, guys, that's really all I had. I wanted to touch base on this because how many questions we are getting on this topic in our community right now. And at the end of the day, if you're priced correctly, if you're marketed correctly, most markets in this country, you can still sell land, you can still sell real estate in 2 to 3 weeks. You're going to have a lot of interested buyers in pretty much all markets if you are priced correctly. Keep that in the back of your mind. But don't be scared of this market. You want to be acquiring land right now for the right prices. That is the move. That's how you're going to make a lot of money in this business. But thank you so much for joining. If you've got any value from this episode or any of our previous episodes, I would really, really appreciate you leaving us a review on Apple Podcast to help other entrepreneurs. Like that's our goal, is to spread our mission to other people, to spread our freedom, to create freedom for other entrepreneurs. Other than that, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next episode.